Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name of course is 24Oscarr, and welcome back to another video. We'll just get right to the point this time. In this video, today we're gonna talk about ugly bitches in video games. Yes, you heard me there. You see, over the course of the last decade or so, maybe like the last 15 years, I would say, over the course of time, female characters have become more uglier and uglier, and there is a particular reason for that happening. So heads up, what I'm talking about in this video is basically objectivity and objective standards, okay? Just keep that in mind. So female characters in modern Western video games. One of the main doctrines that's being pushed currently by the left and by the extension of all the Western game studios that are heavily infiltrated by leftist academics is the idea that objectivity isn't real, and subjectivity is all that matters. So there's no such thing as an objective beauty standard. And all things can be beautiful depending upon perspective. That being said, when you put that into practice, you start getting characters that look like this in video games. So what you see here is the lead character from Returnal. And the face model actually has some decent features. I won't say she's the most feminine woman out there, but I would say she is far more feminine than her video game character that's depicted. Because this ideology is the one that pushes that, since there is no objectivity, and there's no real difference between any kind of particular human, whether they be male or female, black or white, leftist or right. There's no real difference between people, the only difference is how they're socialized, and you can socialize people to be any kind of way that you can. Therefore you can socialize women to be just as tough, just as intelligent, or just as brutal, and just as strong as men. That's what the ideology that's being pushed right now. So they're pushing these pretty much, they're almost like trans characters, but not really. These characters retain a lot of masculine traits that are not feminine whatsoever. Like there's no femininity left a lot in these characters that we're getting nowadays. And it's really demoralizing, especially considering the fact that video games are primarily played by males. It's primarily played by like Asian people and white people, not gonna lie. So placing all of these ugly ass characters into all of these high budget brand new video games is demoralizing for the user base, because again, they're trying to change the zeitgeist to make it so that males are no longer interested in the quote unquote beautiful or normally beautiful female characters, and so that the males can quote unquote respect the women more and not see them as objects. So in order to not see them like sex objects, we need to completely extract everything that would make a female character appealing to the male gaze. And these are the kind of results that we're getting. So we're getting characters like this, and once again they're making the actress way uglier. This actress is not bad looking. Again, I would say this chick is not the most feminine out there, but she's way more feminine than the chick that we're getting in this game. And another example is the face model for Abby from The Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2. And you know, she's pretty cute in my opinion. She has a decently cute face, but then you see Abby, and it's so much freaking uglier. I cannot believe why they uglified the actress. And again, it's trying to make us all these androgynous, you know, anthropomorphous, genderless, weird ass creatures that can literally, you know, speak into existence any kind of thing that they want to be, and they will become that thing, which is essentially what quote unquote transgenderism is. It's just you speaking into existence any kind of identity that you want to inhabit, and people have to accept that despite the objective evidence that you are not that said thing. They seriously uglified the hell out of these characters. It's crazy how much uglier they made her as Abby. It's ridiculous, and again, to create these androgynous characters where there's no difference between the males and the females. And it's also they believe that females have been under the quote-unquote patriarchy for so long. It's due to the fact that men have been holding them down all these years. And now that women finally have the chance to usurp the patriarchy, they are going to be the leaders once men finally step down. Like if you guys have the capacity to be leaders in the first place, you would need the patriarchy's help in order to make this a matriarchy. If that makes any kind of sense. It really makes no sense to me. because the only reason women have rights whatsoever is because of patriarchy. No matter what, the only power and only rights women have are the powers that men allow them to have. And I think that's one of the stark realities that people have a hard time accepting. If men collectively got together and told women to get back into the kitchens, there's nothing they can do about it. And I think that's one of their primary fears, especially these feminist types. It's like, well, I mean, we need to somehow make men weaker. How do we do that? Oh, we need to do it by injecting all of these things that they love with all this propaganda, so that they're completely demoralized. We can just walk all over them without them knowing. There's that kind of power that they have into society. Another example is Mass Effect, which is one of the earliest examples of this. So we have Mass Effect Andromeda. And honestly, I think the face model for the female Shepard is very pretty. So you can see her pretty much look nothing like the video game model. I don't understand how that's the same person. They look nothing alike at all. Where is the resemblance? How is this the face model for this autism femme Shepard? Dude, like what? I really don't understand. Besides the face that has body parts like the eyes, the nose, the hair, I don't see any comparisons. Like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. So again, this comes from the idea that what men find attractive is problematic. So placing sexually repulsive characters into video games is a direct attack against those supposed purveyors of the patriarchy and the misogynist standards that the men have for women, which are quote-unquote impossible for women to meet, despite there are plenty of beautiful women out there, which are seen here with the face models. Not all of them are the most beautiful women out there, but they are beautiful enough, and way more beautiful than these female video game versions of themselves. Also, one of the reasons that they are pushing this is because, I think I heard this from Naughty Dog, so correct me if I'm wrong, but they say they've been uglying up the characters because it's not as offensive to trans people. So take from that you will. Low-key, they're saying trans people are ugly. So they ugly the characters up, so trans people feel bad about themselves. That is hilarious. And if you think I'm just nitpicking here, here's another example from Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, I really don't see much of a difference. If they want to not replicate and implement the actors 100% into the game, then what's the point of hiring them? If they can just create the character from scratch, just do that. The only thing that I can tell is the shape of the face and ears. Just why they ugly them up so bad. And don't say it's hard to make characters in video games, even though there's many better looking female characters out there before these examples. And even after, hell, AI can do it faster and better than what the developers do in years, I bet. What's funny is the male characters, and just about all these games are alpha Chad types. All of them are extremely aesthetic looking. It's crazy how we have the most buff Giga Chad looking characters in conjunction with Supermans everywhere. I don't get it. So we see this Aloy face model who is pretty, I guess. She's not my type, but she's decent enough, but compare her to Aloy. They make it look like she has the face of Nikado Avocado. It makes sense too, they want to make them look more androgynous. They want them to look like men. Men in drag. And I guess that's what they're trying to go off of. Just this whole trans representation. Is that what we need? There are no longer degradations of the feminine attributes, like of caring and nurturing and being supportive and having that peaceful sense to them and being beautiful and emotional and vulnerable. All of those aspects of female characters. Nowadays, they are lacking that. You rarely see characters being vulnerable or even nurturing. They're rarely caring. They are just men with vaginas. They're all replaced with rash and arrogant personalities, and they tend to be vindictive, to which again are very annoying. Probably some of the ugliest characters that I've seen lately in a long time are the characters from MK1. All of these bitches look horrendous. They all look like trans. Even Melina and Katana without the mask, they look hideous. Even Natara, based off Megan Fox, they ugly her up for some reason. I swear they look like men. And let's look at the OG Mortal Kombat character designs. And as you can see, they're feminine looking. and fantasy style. They're very attractive, objectively attractive characters. They have better female forms, they have attractive faces compared to the other ones. No one is gonna say MK1 characters look better, unless you are possessed by Ermac. And again, in MK9, they all look attractive, objectively better looking than what we're getting now. And you could say, oh, they look like strippers, but they're from a different realm, with different customs in a fantasy setting. Why aren't we allowed to have this? Oh, they look like strippers. Who the fuck cares? They're fun to look at. That's the one thing about art, is to create beauty. Nothing has to be realistic in video games. And one more, I saved this to last, and you probably know who I'm gonna pick for this. It's Mary Jane from Spider-Man 2's face model. And I would say this actress is beautiful for me. That's like an 8. For a redhead, she's beautiful looking. But the character in-game looks like a wine mom. And she has the manliest face I ever seen in my whole life since Giga Chad. How the fuck do you greenlight this disaster coming from a beautiful woman? How do you guys keep failing miserably? It's crazy, I swear they're intentionally uglifying them every time. Venom, you can keep her, we ain't saving her. So guys, equality and egalitarianism is the religion of the actress, and of course all this ties into feminism and patriarchy theory. And that is that all ties into the idea that being a pretty woman, as you supporting the patriarchy, if you do anything that men like, you are supporting the patriarchy. Which is why you see girls go to college, they get indoctrinated, they start shaving their hair, they start growing their armpit hair, they start piercing their faces and get tattoos all over, and try to become as androgynous as possible to fight the quote-unquote patriarchy, because men bad, women good. But it is what it is. It's unfortunate, the state of the industry. And I'm not saying they need to make every character in-game to be half naked, to be 11 out of 10s, because a character like Aerith is a perfect representation that femininity, I was talking about the caring and supporting trace of it. She's a perfect illustration of how to make a feminine female character, at the same time who is strong in her own ways. They don't have to be interchangeable, they don't have to be men in female bodies. You can make cool female characters who aren't annoying cunts. Those are the characters that I miss seeing in video games, because we see the same archetype in every gaming experience. So, it is what it is, I guess. So anyways, that's a little rant here about female character designs in Western video games. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm taking this too seriously, or do you think the characters are making them ugly for the standard ugly norms out there, just so they can relate to it? Who knows, it is what it is. My name is 24Oscarr, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.